Hey there, this is another installment of Sketching from Quarantine. Today I'm going to work on a one-point perspective for the same project I worked on last week, and this will be a little bit different. I'll still use some of the same techniques with Photoshop and InDesign that I did on the other sketch, but I wanted to show you this way. So here goes, Design from Quarantine, Steve Busto, B+H. So this is a one-point perspective. The first thing I did was lay down a horizon and then put my center vanishing point right in the middle of it. And again, I'm working in graphic scale. I specifically chose a 1 point because this is a very long and skinny room. And I've come up with some architectural devices to help kind of break that down. Think of a 1 point as a train car or a tunnel going straight back. So first thing you do is make your horizon, make your vanishing point, and then do your back wall. In this case, working graphically, this room is about 9 by 27. So I made a graphic scale. So I drew a 9-foot wall there. So boom, boom, that would be 9. 2 of those would be 18. 3 of those would be 27. Boom. So that became my back wall. From there to there, 9, 18, 27. So that's how I sort of got the graphic scale figured out of this one. I went ahead and jumped ahead. So everything's going to vanish to this point: left-hand wall, right-hand wall, center wall. This is the underlying sketch. You can see I created these sort of architectural devices, folding over and up. Reception desk, conference room, these shifted seating groups. And then you can see I'm using tissue paper to kind of hatch out a lot of ideas like, oh, do I want texture on there? Is it painting? Do I want a pendant light? The other thing is all the chairs are everything's vanishing towards this single point, which can get kind of static in the drawing. So oftentimes I will kind of rotate some of the seating groups, and you'll see that in a second. So here's these sort of architectural features, architectural feature. I haven't figured out the framing yet. I went ahead and did the next level of black on top of that. There you can see it's starting to come alive. You can see how I shifted the chairs to shift their rotation to try to make more interest. I'm starting to indicate paintings and things for the art program this client has. These are these sort of finished planes that go up and over and try to break it down with some clean, clear surfaces, a conference room in the background. And then I was kind of unhappy with how these chairs turned out, so I redid this sketch, and this is the final here. You can see. Now this is what I'm going to scan next, and then I'll go straight into rendering. So that's a one-point perspective. Hey guys, a couple little more photoshopping tips. So I've scanned my drawing. As you can see, it came in crooked. So what I'm gonna do is go to the move tool, go up to my parallel bars at the top and drag a ruler down. Go to the same thing on the left, drag a ruler over. And I'm gonna select all, edit, transform, rotate. And I'm gonna get that guy all perfectly straightened up because there's nothing worse than having a crooked drawing in your final presentation. Select that. The other thing is sometimes, it's probably very subtle and you probably can't see it on the phone, but it drives me nuts. Sometimes the tissue paper scans a little off-white, and so when you put it in a presentation, it won't be true paper white. So the first thing I do is go image adjust, curves, and go to, this is set white point, set gray point, set black point. And I go to set white point, and the lightest value is color 255. So in the RGB scale, if all R, G, and B are set at 255, that's pure white. So here you can go to my color picker, I'll show you. You see there, the R is 255, the G is 255, the B is 255. That'll be pure paper white. So image adjust, curves, set the white point, and I'm gonna click where it's probably hard for you to see, but this is actually, here's pure paper white because it's the background. This is kind of a dingy white, so I'm gonna click on that just once. Whoops, and you see it? It erased it all. It's great, it brightened it all. Sometimes you can overdo this and it brightens it up too much. So I'm clicking around to set the white point until I get it to be pure paper white, and then go okay. So that's a way to get a nice clean background to start your drawing, your rendering with. So just a little bit further along, you can see how I created the variations in the glossy versus light and the stone flooring. I did go ahead and use area fill with wood because the wooden legs of the chair, this is the chair from the presentation you saw previously, is quite important. Now I'm going to go look for fabric and carpet. I'll probably use some, because this project again is in Shanghai, so I want to make sure it's something that's internationally available. Then I'll get a stone for this desk, and then I'll start working on my artwork. I tried to do some light effects, which sometimes can be cheesy. In this case, I want a light cove that goes over and wraps down, and on this panel, I want a light cove that comes down and becomes a light fixture in the flooring. So these clean interlocked L shapes. But I don't, you can always just decide at the last minute before you present it to turn it off if you think it looks cheesy. So sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see. A lot of my Photoshop colleagues in the architectural and interior design profession will be mortified at how quickly I work, but it's, I'm not trying to create a photorealistic rendering. I am trying to talk about the major moves of the design, and then having the finishes on the table and the actual furniture and such makes for a more robust presentation. You can see this sort of final presentation with the artwork, the Jaffindian carpets, that gorgeous Holly Hunt table there, a view angle, some of the materials. This is about as far as I'll take it. It's to talk about the major architectural moves. So that's a one-point perspective on design from quarantine. Be safe, everyone.